Hello, everyone. Okay, so like 3 of you are happy to see me. That's cool. So if you can grab your food and grab a seat up front. I do bite, but that's okay. You'll like it. Come on over. There's some people still getting some food. My name is Eva Walker from KEXP, and thank you. And I'm very happy to be here, and I would love it if you would take a seat and maybe quiet down your conversations just a little bit so everyone can hear. Yeah. Thank you. I was going to do that whole principle, like, or we can all just stare at the people who are talking until they stop. So welcome, everyone, to Solid Ground's 23rd Building Community event. I mean every word of everything that I say today, even though I'll be reading a lot. So when I say Solid Ground is great, I actually mean that, okay? So we are glad that you are here today in person to celebrate together the successes that Solid Ground has made to overcome poverty and to recommit themselves to this work and moving our community forward. And again, I'm Eva Walker. I'll be your MC for today. So expect some great jokes. And we're going to jump right into something fun and a little different, actually. So I need all of you to be a part of it if you are willing. So get ready for a round of Solid Ground trivia. And on your seats or at the table, wherever you're sitting at, there is a program to this QR code here for AHA slides. That's how I say it, AHA slides. So go ahead and scan this. And if you don't have like the QR scan, then you can go to the website, which I believe is on there. There it is. ahaslides.com, ahaslides.com. Give you a little time to do it. And what's going to happen is that you're going to put in some answers, and they're going to appear up here. Okay? All right. All right, we're going to get started. Okay, so this first question gets to the heart of today's program about overcoming barriers to poverty. So the first question is, what do you think are the biggest barriers we face to solving poverty in our community? All right, there's cost of living, racism, lack of resource access, housing affordability, absolutely. A lot of capitalism, greed, yes. And if you see the kind of consistent one up there is racism and now capitalism. Yeah. Something to think about. Okay. We're going to get to the second question now. So the second question, you have 4 descriptions of services Solid Ground provided in 2022, and it's your job to match the number of people served to the right category. So I'll read the questions in case you can't see that very well, and I don't actually know what it looks like on the phones if it pops up on your phone, but I'll read them out loud. The first question is, how many people did Solid Ground serve last year? Second question, Solid Ground provided access transportation to how many people to enable them to stay in their homes? Number 3, Solid Ground housed how many formerly homeless people? And number 4, Solid Ground provided rental assistance to how many people to keep them from being evicted? So take some time and answer that. Okay, let's get to the answers. The first question. Solid Ground served 65,000 people last year. Can we applaud to that? Wow! Solid Ground provided access transportation to 31,016 people to enable them to keep living in their homes and communities. Solid Ground provided, for number 3, Solid Ground provided rental assistance to keep 942 people from being evicted. And to top it all off, Solid Ground provided housing to 775 people who had previously been homeless. Wow. Okay, the next question goes to the heart of some of these barriers that working folk face in the community, and that's how many hours a week at minimum wage does one have to work to afford a 2-bedroom apartment in Seattle? Think about that question. How many hours a week, getting minimum wage, does one person have to work to afford a 2-bedroom apartment? How many hours at minimum wage do you have to work a week so you can afford one of those okay Seattle 2-bedroom apartments? The answer is 107 freaking hours to afford these IKEA-looking apartments in Seattle. On the screen, you'll see a couple of other notable stats from Solid Ground's community. Solid Ground's community needs assessment. And I'll let you read them for yourselves, but the story they tell is that folks are facing significant barriers to thriving in our community, especially people living in poverty and low-wage jobs. As we get into our program, we'll see some of the ways Solid Ground supports people to overcome these barriers and thrive, and you will hear stories from a couple of our program participants. You'll hear from Solid Ground's amazing CEO, Shalimar Gonzales, and you'll get the opportunity to make your commitment to support Solid Ground. Then I'll be having a conversation with 2 inspiring award-winning leaders in social change work in our community, Colleen Echohawk, CEO of 8th Generation and former executive director of the Chief Seattle Club, and educator, community activist, and TED Talk star, Erin Jones. And let's give it up for them. It's going to be amazing. And we're going to follow up with a musical after party featuring 2 of my dear friends, very talented musicians, Maya Marie and Stephanie Ann Johnson. And there will be a cool drawing for door prizes between Maya and Stephanie's set, so you won't want to go anywhere. Now, I want to take a moment to acknowledge that Solid Ground operates on, and they are meeting on, land that has always belonged to the Coast Salish peoples, particularly the Duwamish. As a modern nonprofit, Solid Ground is a part of a colonialist system that stole their land, attempted genocide, and continues to oppress indigenous peoples today. And we can't achieve our mission to end poverty without changing our relationship to the indigenous peoples of this land. As you saw, you all unanimously said racism was a big part of the issues that go on. So we are working to build deeper relationships with the Duwamish and other indigenous stewards of this land and work to repair colonial impacts. And we encourage our partners, donors, and other stakeholders to join us in this work. And Solid Ground is supporting the Duwamish by contributing to Real Rent Duwamish, formally endorsing the Duwamish effort to regain federal recognition, lobbying elected officials to support the Duwamish efforts to regain federal recognition, and creating a partnership to get targeted rental assistance funding to tribal members in need. Yes, you can clap to that. Now, please join me in giving a very warm welcome to Solid Ground CEO, Shalimar Gonzales.
Thank you very much. All right, hello everyone. Ooh, these lights are bright up here. Oh, It's been a while since I've been anywhere outside of my house, so it's so good to see everyone here tonight. A couple of just general logistics things I want to make sure that we go over for you all. Kraken fans, I swear you're going to be done before the game starts. So no need to check the phone to try to wonder if the Uber's going to get you in time or you're going to be able to get back to your house to watch the game. I promise you'll get back in time to watch at least most, if not all, the game. So go Kraken. For those that know me, I am from San Francisco, so I'm also just going to go and throw it out. Go Golden State Warriors. I'm just gonna, that's tomorrow, but I'm just shout it out. Okay, and then a couple of other just general things. Restrooms, if you're kind of wondering where the restrooms are, they are right behind us over here. So restrooms, please help yourself to all the food, all the drinks allotted by your drink ticket. So 2 drinks. So just want to make sure that y'all are having a good time tonight and today. The goal of this is just have fun, right? The name of this event, Building Community. So that is what this is all about. It's about gathering together to really help Solid Ground as an organization reach its goals and mission around solving poverty in King County. And as you saw from the survey results, we have quite the challenge in front of us. And we have a couple of former Solid Ground executive directors in the room with us today, so I can't help but shout them out because they started this work, and it's just my honor to continue this work on their behalf. So Representative Frank Chop, right there. And Cheryl Cobbs-Murphy, right over here. Cheryl, raise your hand. There you go. All right, so thank you. Thank you both for being here. Thank everyone else for being here. We're going to have a really good time. We got music, we got drinks, we got food, we have all the things, and we have some inspirational stories to tell. So the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of talk a little bit about the work of Solid Ground. So like I said, you did the quiz, but I'm going to give you a little bit more context, a little bit more information so you could sink your teeth into. Solid Ground, we've got about 60,000 stories. I like to tell people I have 60,000 stories that I can tell you about the impacts of the work that we do at Solid Ground. I have 2 neighbors now who have approached me and said, hey, I realize that you work for Solid Ground. I don't think they quite know what I do, but they're like, I think I realize that you work for Solid Ground, and I want you to know that we've used your services. That my family has used your tenant support services. So Celestine in the very back, raise your hand, Celestine, that is her team. And Hannah, where are you? You're around here somewhere. Way over there. Thank you very much, Hannah. So the other neighbor that I have utilized our benefit legal assistance not too long ago. So thank you very much. So the work of solving poverty in King County is hard. It's hard to solve it anywhere. I actually think it's especially hard to solve it in King County because we have such a disparity of wealth. Right? I don't think there's any debate about that. We have such a unique opportunity for us to really lean into what it means to care about our full community, what it means to care about the folks that are together in this room, what it means to care about the folks that are outside of this room that aren't in this space. We have an opportunity to really, truly solve poverty, and you all being here tonight and today allows us to be able to continue to take those steps. Solid Ground has been in existence for nearly 50 years. We plan on continuing this work until we're not needed anymore. I like to say that we're trying to put ourselves out of a job. That is my hope one day in my lifetime that we're able to do so. But we have some big things to solve. We got to solve capitalism. As I like to tell people, it was capitalism all along. That's kind of the thing. We need to figure out all the other isms, sexism, racism. We need to figure out wage inequalities in our county, in our country. We need to figure out how we continue to unite people to undo the systems of power that exist, so that way every single person can thrive in this country and in this county and in this city. And that's really what we're going for. That is our goal at the end of the day. Like I said, it is to put ourselves out of business. And with your support tonight, we're going to be able to do that. And so, again, I'm going to get you out of here for the Kraken game. I promise. But before you leave, I'm going to ask you to give a gift, right? So if you want to pre-give it, And then if you want to give it again. I'll take 2 gifts from you. It's good. But tonight, it's all about building community. It's about coming together to support the community that needs us. And we have a talented group of staff, a talented group of volunteers that come in every single day, that came in every single day throughout the pandemic to make sure that our community was supported and taken care of. And so I know all of our staff are not here tonight, but I want to be able to say to them especially, thank you. Thank you for everything that you do. Thank you to our volunteers for everything that you do. And thank you to you all in this room for coming together to support Solid Ground and our efforts to solve and eradicate poverty and racism. Thank you very much. So we have a video for you. So like I said, I got like 60,000 stories I could tell, but I would much rather let our participants tell their own stories. That is important to the work that we do, is empowering people to tell their own stories. And so we have a video for you. And this video is from a participant, Tiffany Brownlee, at our Broadview program, who's going to share a little bit more about her story.
What I like about Broadview is that they help me get tools for like my kit. So I can go into the chest and pull out tools that I didn't have before. One of the first things I did within the first 20 minutes of me being at Broadview was make a safety plan. I've been at 6 other shelters, yet Broadview was the only place that ever had a safety plan with me. They were the first place that ever asked me for like a description of my abuser, to educate me on how to help myself be safe, like turning off my location. They helped me sign up for an address protection program. Like within the first hour that I was at Broadview, we did all these things. When you're homeless, you're so focused on establishing safety in housing, you're not focused on dealing with your trauma or dealing with your kids' trauma. I didn't really get to deal with my trauma during my homelessness. At first, I had to get a job, then I had to get a housing. It was just living day by day, day by day. And I think that's the life of a lot of homeless people. You just live for today. You don't really think long term. You don't really think, what does Tiffany look like in 10 years? Or what does old Tiffany look like? And sometimes having those conversations is scary, but I think we need to have those conversations, and you need to challenge yourself to, where do I want myself to be? And am I making the steps to achieve that, or am I letting fear hold me in a space? Why can't it be as simple as us all sitting at the table and coordinating help? Like, you show me how to budget, you show me how to do my resume, you show me how to furnish my house, you show me how to catch the bus, you show me how to sign up for healthcare, a doctor's appointment. And I love that about Broadview, that under one roof, everybody has a part of that to help you connect to your resources. My hope is that I could be the change for someone. They showed me that it was possible. They filled my cup, so I try to fill others. They saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. I work in social services. I work for Chief Seattle Club. I'm a housing advocate. I help house the most vulnerable. My oldest, he's 19 now. He just graduated. He's working. I have a 17-year-old who's a junior in high school. I have a freshman. I have a 5th grader and a soon-to-be kindergartner. We're all healthy, happy, and living life and taking it day by day. I've been on welfare. I've been on Section 8. I've been homeless. I was a high school dropout. I've been many things, but that doesn't define me now. Like, my yesterday doesn't define my present or my future. And I would hope my story would show people that anything can change. Like, change is possible. Change is possible. It's possible. You have to be open to it.
Yes, Change is indeed possible, and Tiffany is here with us today. Could you please stand up so we can thank you for sharing your powerful story? Thank you so much, Tiffany. Just amazing. And I forgot to say this earlier. Turn your cell phones off. I'm gonna turn around, and when I come back around, they'll all be off. They're off, good, okay. Thank you again, Tiffany, for sharing that. That was just wonderful information, and we appreciate you being here today also, so thank you. And yeah, I don't want to cry either. Okay, now I'd like to introduce another Solid Ground program participant, Forrest Ember. And Forrest is a priestess of puns who builds community by hosting pun slams events and raise support for Solid Ground. Yeah, that's awesome, right? But when she first came to Solid Ground, she was at risk of homelessness and facing premature cutoff of the state benefits that were essential to helping her recover from a bad injury. But you should hear the rest from her, so please welcome Forrest Ember.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Tiffany, for sharing your story, too. It's nice to meet a fellow person who's been helped. Yeah, I'm Forrest Ember. All of that is true. I feel like a lot of the systems that are set up to help us end up potentially hurting us at some points, and it's been my experience that Solid Ground fills in the gaps where those programs kind of end up dropping us. I'm super starstruck right now. So I got introduced to Solid Ground. I had gotten injured working at Amtrak. I was about to become a train conductor, which was my dream job at the time, and I hurt my rotator cuff and was told I could not work. So I got on benefits through the Housing and Essential Needs program, and then they ended abruptly, and I was about to be evicted or have a blemish on my rental history, which I had never had up until that point. And I requested a hearing and got connected with the legal benefits legal assistance folks at Solid Ground, and they were able to help me continue getting my HEN benefits long enough where I was able to get into college and learn some skills that I didn't need to use physical labor for. And I have since opened a business, Forrest Ember Prizes, and thank you. Yeah, right. It's rad. And I've been able to give back. Even I donated 4 tickets to Pun Slam tonight in the raffle. So maybe I'll see 4 of you. Or hopefully, I'll see all of you actually at all my shows now. It was really awesome. I was in a very dark, desperate, devastated place. I was injured and I was going to lose housing. And then when I got connected with Solid Ground, it was life and death for me. It really was. I have a very long, interesting, sordid story. I could go on, but I have a short time, so I'm going to wrap it up now. But I did get to meet tonight the lawyer who worked on my case. Her name is Sarah Robbins. If you could raise your hand, if we could all give it up. Thank you so much. Yeah, I've never been so starstruck. I was like, oh my God, can we take a selfie? What do you do? I don't know. I did get a selfie, so. It's scary. As a business owner, I wanted to be able to donate. It was just a no-brainer to donate to Solid Ground. It can be scary to know where your money is actually going. You want to do good, and you're like, I don't know if it's helping. But I can guarantee you that your money that you donate to Solid Ground goes directly to people who need it, and it helps us greatly. And if you look on your seats right now, everybody, there's an option to give. It's kind of like you're on Oprah, and you get a chance to give, and you get a chance. Just check your chairs, everyone. Check your chairs. yeah, I think that's it for me. So thank you all for being here. Thank you so much. Please dig deep, give to Solid Ground. We really appreciate you. And I don't know what's going on next. Do I just keep? You're good. Okay, thanks. You need to get like the cane to pull me off. All right.
Yes, please take some time. Pull out your phones, donate, please. Thank you, Forrest Ember, for being here. And you're right there. I don't know why. I thought you walked out. It's like, thank you. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, Shalimar. And Shalimar. Unfortunately, Golden State's gonna lose, so. Sorry. I don't make the rules. All right. There is information on giving, of course, on the handout on your chair and on the screen. And if you would like to write a check, please see Suzanne at the registration desk, and she can help get you all sorted out. And we're going to give you a minute. We're going to do a little awkward silence thing here to peer pressure into some, giving. So it starts now. All right, thank you so much for supporting Solid Ground so that we can help people overcome barriers, solve poverty in their lives, and thrive. And yeah. And we're going to turn our attention now to our special guests. We have Colleen Echohawk and Erin Jones. Colleen Echohawk is the CEO of 8th Generation, a longtime leader in local nonprofits working on the leading edge of anti-poverty and social justice work, including the Chief Seattle Club and Youth Care. Colleen Echohawk is a born organizer, change maker, and leader with over 20 years' experience championing both Seattle's marginalized populations and Native prosperity nationwide. Her experiences as an Indigenous woman, small business owner, community organizer, and executive leader inform her efforts in building community of justice and reconciliation. She is an enrolled member of the Kitahaki, thank you, band of Pawnee Nation, and a member of the Upper Athabascan people of the Metatasta Lake. And Colleen is proud to have called Seattle home for over 2 decades. She is a champion for change, igniting successful coalitions to bring about positive shifts in Seattle's housing, homelessness, racial justice, sustainability, and public safety issues. Yowzas. Thank you. And I have a twin brother, but I learned that I was a triplet the other day. I was like, wow, where have you been? Erin Jones spent over 26 years as an educator and was recognized as the most innovative foreign language teacher in Washington in 2007 and the Washington State Milken Educator of the Year in 2008. In addition, she was honored at the White House in 2013 as a champion of change and was Washington State's PTA's Outstanding Educator in 2015. Erin left teaching and has worked as an executive for 2 state superintendents of public instruction and ran as candidate for the superintendent. And she was the first Black woman to run for any state office in Washington State. And she only lost by a mere 1%. Erin is an athlete, musician, and writer, and she speaks 4 languages. She now focuses on investing her talents and unique experiences to helping stakeholders better serve a variety of cultures and inspiring people to become their best selves. Yowzas, Erin. All right, now all we need is some Herb Alpert as I walk to the chair. Thank you for joining us, Colleen and Erin.
Glad to be here.
And for starters, please do a little intro of your, I know, but we want to hear it from you. Go ahead, Colleen.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here. Wonderful walk over to this chair. It's great. I'm just delighted to be with you all. I'm Colleen Echohawk, as you said. Currently, I'm the CEO of a native lifestyle brand called 8th Generation. Thank you. You can find us at Pike Place Market and online. But I'm really proud to be working with native artists from all over the country. We're the fastest growing business in Indian country. We continue to grow by exponential amounts every single year because our country is hungry for real American design. If you think about where we have been in the past 100 years in this country around design and architecture, public planning, you will see that it is dominated by the same white guys. And it's important for us as we think about reconciliation and hope and joy as our country moves forward. Art and design and what is in your home really matters. And so I am so honored to get to work with these artists every day, doing wonderful, beautiful things that bring a lot of peace and serenity to our communities, and then also to everyone who gets to buy our beautiful products. I love living in Seattle. I've lived here for over 20 years. I have 2 babies who are 14 and 16 now, so pray for me. It's really amazing and also stressful, but I really am so grateful for this life I get to live, and I'm just glad to be here with you all and to support this work of Solid Ground, which I've worked with Solid Ground for many, many years. Appreciate so much this work, and I'm just glad to be here tonight. Glad to be with Eva. I'm a huge fan. I was like, I don't want to fangirl too hard, but I already did, so, you know.
Please, continue.
You're not wearing your white boots right now.
I know,
And
I wear the red ones.
if you have not been to a show with Eva and the Black Tones, I'm telling you, it's amazing. It is amazing. You're amazing. So.
You're amazing. I'm just going to gush, so donate
Yes,
and we're going to...
gushing is happening here.
Erin, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're working on now.
Well, I feel like I'm your long-lost sister, and as an adoptee, I mean, we may need to talk to someone tonight.
I planned on calling my mom after.
There we go.
Clear this up.
We found each other. So I am a biracial, transracial adoptee, and why is that important? Because I was born at a time when, in this country, it was unacceptable for black and white to be together. And so my white mother in 1971 delivered me and then left me in the hospital and never came back. So I've never met my biological mother. On my birth certificate, for the name of my father, it says Negro man. That's what it says for his name. And so I was born in a time that I think a lot of young people today can't even imagine. And especially here, we have so many biracial kids here, and when I tell my story, they're like, really? Really? Yeah, really. Like, I can show you my actual birth certificate. I was really fortunate, and even though in Minnesota in the 70s, about 90% of babies who look like me would never be adopted, and today that hasn't changed much. It's still in the high 80% of children who don't get adopted. I was really fortunate. And a white couple who were both teachers from northern Minnesota who had never met a black person ever in their lives. They said they had seen a black marching band once, but that was as close as they ever got. They made the decision consciously to adopt a baby that they knew probably wouldn't be adopted, and they were disowned by their families. So both sides of their good Christian families disowned them for adopting one of them. Now, what's really beautiful is my dad is one of the most courageous humans I know, and also the nerdiest math teacher you'll ever meet. So those of you over 50 will appreciate he wore a pocket protector into the 90s. So, nerd alert, but also really courageous. And he decided when I was 7 months old, on Christmas, he was going to bring me to the family, and they were going to love me. And he did. He brought me up to the family in a tiny town in northern Minnesota. And my grandfather took one look and said, "She's beautiful. How could we not love her?" I give the blessing. And what's really amazing is all of us cousins, we're all 6 feet taller.
Wow.
We are all basketball players. We are all teachers, and we all sing.
Wow.
Except for they're all clear.
Yeah.
They're not white, they're clear. Okay, some of y'all didn't catch that. They're from northern Minnesota, y'all. You can see their blood vessels through their skin. But my dad realized also when I was little that raising me in that environment was probably not the best thing. And so he applied for a teaching job overseas, and I would get to go to school at the American School of The Hague in the Netherlands from 1976 until 1989 when I graduated. Every American president who came to the World Court stopped at my school.
Wow.
I got to meet my first president's wife when I was 9 years old, the president of Egypt. So Anwar Sadat's wife came to my school. So imagine being a black girl getting to meet an Egyptian president's wife. And that would shape me forever because I realized that I was not less than because I was adopted. I was not less than because I wasn't rich. I could be like her. And she told me that day. She said, Erin, you are a world changer. That's what she told me when I was 9 years old. And I believed her so much that I began to live into that and would come back to the States at 18 to college. I got a scholarship to Princeton, but got a better scholarship to the Sisters College, Bryn Mawr in Philadelphia. And that's where I started my journey in the United States in a space that was incredibly racist. In fact, I met a young man here today in Seattle as I was walking. He was also biracial, also raised in Philly. And he said, you were in Philadelphia at a time at the height of some real racial tension. And so I got to witness that and live through it. And it's really what drove me, number one, to teaching. Because in Philadelphia, if you were poor and black, you were automatically going to go to a school that was under-resourced. And I realized then, this is a social justice issue. This is a civil rights issue. And so I became a teacher because of that. But I also knew, because of what I saw, my unique experience as a biracial, transracially adopted, quadrilingual, could also be used as a bridge. And so I knew then I also want to be a bridge between black and white, between English and Spanish, English and French, English and Dutch, English and German, or whatever. And so I've tried to live out the last 32 years of my life in the United States as a bridge and as an educator, inspiring people to kind of get out of their comfort zones and do the work of reconciliation. So back to you. You talked about reconciliation too. It's really important to me.
Mm-hmm. Give it up for Erin and Colleen, please. Amazing. So we're going to have a little conversation. Between the pandemic and economic challenges, the rise of both increased commitment to racial justice, social justice, and increased white supremacy and nationalism, the past few years have been incredibly challenging, as we know. How do you sustain your passion, focus, and effectiveness in these times? Go ahead, Erin.
Okay, I'm ready. So one of the things I talk with educators a lot about, I used to do speeches on your why. Why do you do the work you do? So whether I was talking to educators or business owners, I would get them to unpack their why. Why do you do what you do, where you do it? But what I've realized in the last 3 years is your why gets you into the room. It won't keep you there. Mm-hmm. And so I've been pushing people to think about beyond your why, what are you doing that feeds your spirit, mind, and body every day? What is something that you can do to feed your soul? Because if you don't feed your soul, this work is hard. Mm-hmm. This work is really hard. DEI work, especially right now, when it's under attack all across the country, and even right here in Washington State, by the way. When it's under attack, if you're not doing something to feed yourself, it will eat you alive, and you will either leave the career or you'll get sick. I mean, I've watched friends get sick because of this, because they're not. And so what do? Every single day, I start my day with meditation and just being still, every single day. This morning, I ran a 5K. So I will be 52 in 3 weeks, exactly 3 weeks, because I'm running a half marathon next Sunday, and I'll turn 52 the week after that. Y'all, I'm running from 52. I'm running hard from 52. But I know that if I'm going to have the energy to do the work I do, I have to be really fit. I just know this. I know this. I can show up in space with energy because I invest in making sure that I'm fit. So I think really carefully about what I eat, what I do with my body. I'm also pushing my brain every day. I do something to challenge my brain, whether it's listening to a podcast, whether it's reading something, whether it's writing. I have like 5 journals. I'm kind of a crazy writer. So I am writing in journals all the time. But spirit, mind, and body, I am committed every single day to doing something to feed those things. And I think it's why I'm able to not just survive, but thrive.
And Colleen, yes, how do you sustain, yes, how do you sustain your passion, focus, and effectiveness during these times?
You know, on the way here, I was coming from a board meeting and thinking about being here, and my little mantra / prayer as I get out of the car and was walking towards this building was, you know, ancestors, give me the right words, teach me the right way, help me be the right kind of person in this moment. And I think about my ancestors every single day. It's my own form of meditation, perhaps, because I come from a community where my ancestors fought with their lives for me to be here. I come from a tribe, the Pawnee tribe of Oklahoma. We're originally from Kansas and Nebraska. Those are my homelands. And we had our own trail of tears. We went from a tribe of over 15,000 people to 610 people who made it to our reservation in Oklahoma. And I think about them, I think about their sacrifices, I think about what they went through, and I feel them pushing me and urging me forward. And they say, my girl, keep going, we're behind you, you've got it, take care of yourself, you are not alone. I hear that every day when I take one quick second to hear you are not alone. And I feel that, and I take that with me into my work, because it has been hard. I think all of us here know, like, it has been hard. And especially those of you who are working out there in human services, all of the amazing staff here from Solid Rock, like, I want you to know that we really see you and know how hard it has been. I can remember on the day, I was executive director at the time at Chase Seattle Club, and on the day that the governor said we're gonna shut down the state, I looked at over 100 people who were coming in my building for food and thought, what are we going to do? It was devastating. It was so scary. I remember seeing this one grandma came in and she said, hey, I've been staying, I happen to know her. She goes, she had her granddaughter with her too. She said, I've been staying at this congregate shelter, but I'm really scared of this virus, so we're moving into a tent. And I thought, and I felt my ancestors right then too saying, do more, you've got it, we can figure this out. And we were the first organization to move that grandma into a hotel room that night. We had, yeah, it was stunning. And so those ancestors are giving me the idea, pushing me forward, showing me what to do. And the other quick thing I'll mention too is that probably 3 or 4, because I'm a very extroverted person. I probably know several of you in this audience. I know a lot of people. I love people. But I also realized, like, sometimes these friendships were not giving me a lot of joy, and they were dragging me down. And I started cultivating I have like this group of 15 people who are just like, yes, Colleen, you're amazing. Let's go do something. Let's have fun. Let's go to karaoke. Those 15 and my siblings and my parents and my husband, I have like the most kick-ass husband, you guys. They just like are like my people, and they just push me along, and they're just like they always are so, they'll give me the feedback if I need it, but they're also just like inspirational and excited for me and think that I'm the best. Cultivate those people, because it makes your life better and funner and good.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
So what issues have the most challenging barriers, what issues have been the most challenging barriers for you and your community, and where do you see the best opportunities for progress? Colleen, let's start with you.
For me, right away, it comes up the racial wealth gap. I've worked in the nonprofit world. I've supported my relatives who were experiencing homelessness. I've built housing. I've also been on the other side where I'm a trustee at the Seattle Foundation. And I can tell you 2 things for my community and for me. One, the nonprofit world isn't going to save us, and the philanthropic world is not going to save us. The racial wealth gap and not having that generational wealth in our communities is continuing to be an ongoing, issue. And so part of the reason I have transitioned into a business role, and so I'm the CEO at 8th Generation, which is owned by the Snoqualmie tribe, very proud to work for one of our local tribes, but I also own a small business called Headwater People Consulting. I just bought my second house in Seattle, and I am sacrificing and working as hard as I can so that when my kids will have a different story when it comes to going to college. My parents were like, go to college, Colleen, and then they handed me a cassette tape that they bought at a garage sale about how to take your SAT. and We just didn't have it in our family. My siblings and I, we've all graduated from college, but we're the first generation college students. And we all have thousands of dollars of student loans. And so I am working as hard as I can to get my kids through college so they come out on the other side. And I'm also trying to do all I can to build out my own personal wealth. And with a goal of giving back, I have a goal within the next 10 years to give $5 million back to my tribe. With no, just do whatever you want to do with it. They know what's the best thing. And I could go on this for a long time, but one thing I really want to highly encourage people who are our allies and co-conspirators in the work is to trust brown people with your money. Trust brown people that we know what to do, and also trust that we're going to make mistakes too. Yes, thank you, Dr. So,
Amen.
thank you.
God. Erin, you know when you love something, you're like angry, you're like, yeah. That's how I feel. I'm like, dang it, you're right.
So when I think about who's my community, I may not have won state superintendent. I'm actually kind of happy I lost the election because Chris had to run schools during a pandemic, and I did not have to do that. So
Yes.
I think I actually got the better end of the deal here. And it's funny, he and I are friendly. We live in the same community, so we see each other pretty often. And but I'm actually really glad I didn't win. But what I have stayed doing is I have stayed all across the state of Washington. So I know I am in every community. I'm on the east side of the state, the west side of the state, north, south, all of it. And so when I think about my community, it's not just my neighborhood. It's like I'm serving Stanwood right now in Arlington School District, Vancouver, Olympia, Spokane Public Schools, Yakima, Pasco, like all of it. I think of that as my community. And when I think about what are the greatest challenges right now, there's a couple that I think of. Number one, our students right now, I don't care what they look like, are struggling with belonging. Mm-hmm. All of our students are really struggling, and the pandemic really made belonging a much more difficult thing for all of our students, but especially our students who have brown skin and those who identify as LGBTQIA. And Seattle's a very different place than Stanwood or Arlington or Vancouver. Or some of the other small places that I could name. Marysville, yes. Oh, yes, okay, yes, Marysville. I have gotten more calls in the last year to come out to school buildings where Black students and trans students have been either verbally or physically or both harassed. And then it's been 32 years that I've been working in schools, and the last year I've had more calls to come to buildings to try to repair the harm that has been done. And guess what? I can't repair the harm. The school has to repair the harm. Yeah. And it's going to take time. It's not going to take one visit with Erin Jones. Like, I don't have a magic wand to fix the harm. But when I think about the challenge, I think about a lot of educators who are not trained to create spaces of belonging for students who are not white, middle class, cis, het students. And so that is a big challenge, and I just want to offer a perspective as someone over 50, and I just shared this with Leadership Tomorrow earlier this morning when I spoke to them. I said, we suck as a country, those of us that are over 50, at talking about race, gender, sexuality, religion, money, or politics, I'll add that too. And mixed company, we suck at it because we were all taught, don't talk about it in mixed company. And you cannot get good at something you don't practice. And so many of us were trained to not talk about it. And so what happened? We never developed the tools. And now the greatest challenge is that we're being told to not talk about it. That if we just don't talk about it, it'll go away. If we just pull those books out of libraries, if we just make it illegal for teachers to talk about this thing, oh, Erin, if you talk about race, it just creates a divide. No, the divide is here, y'all. The divide is here. We have to give people skills to be able to talk about it. And it doesn't mean you have to agree with me, but you need to at least know how to have a conversation. And so that is, I see in the world that I work in, that is our greatest challenge, is just developing. And it's really part of the reason I run. I don't run because I love running. I love playing basketball. I don't love running. I don't understand y'all that like to run on trails through the woods or on a treadmill staring into nowhere. I don't understand you all. I run now about 30 miles a week, not because I like it. It's my physical practice of pushing through discomfort. It's my physical practice of I am practicing doing the hard thing, because I can't ask you to do the hard thing if I'm not willing to feel what that feels like. And so running for me is my mental, physical, emotional practice so that I can show up in spaces. And I'm often in white, rural, remote communities where they've never seen anybody like me. It's going to be a hard conversation, but I'm ready for it because I've been practicing doing hard things.
So my next question for you both, Erin, we'll start with you. What gives you hope and who inspires you?
So I get to be around young people all the time, and by intention. So even though I'm not a regular classroom teacher anymore, I host 2 classes online every week. So I do a Monday night class and I do a Friday night class every week. I started that actually the day that schools were shut down. I watched as the community panicked. My teacher friends panicked. What are we going to do with ourselves? And my friends panicked. What are we going to do with our children? And so I knew by the Monday after the pandemic, March 16th, what I had to offer was 20,000 followers on Facebook, and I had a computer and I loved for teaching. And so I just began to teach that Monday, and I taught for 81 days in a row for free. I taught a class for little babies that I read out loud to them every morning in English, Dutch, French, and Spanish. I taught a class for adult educators who wanted to learn about equity, and then I taught a class for middle and high school students called Becoming a Change Agent. And the students, at the end of June, I said, yo, Miss Erin needs a break. So y'all need to go back to your homes. I am not showing up after June 30th. I need a break. But I had so many parents reach out in August and say, our kids want to come back to class. Can you do it? And so I opened that classroom again once a week starting in the fall of 2020. Those young people give me so much. They show up. They do not get credit from me. There's no grades from me. We meet on a Friday afternoon at 5 online. Mm-hmm. And they choose to show up on a Friday afternoon after being in school. Those children give me so much hope. Now, children in general give me hope, but I just want to add this caveat to that. Children are not just going to get better on these issues because they're the next generation. So I will offer that our children have been home with parents. Listening to some things that are really harmful. And so I will offer that not all children give me hope. I'm just going to be really honest. I have seen more hateful interactions from small babies. Y'all, the day after the presidential election in 2020, I had a white child follow me in my neighborhood for 3 blocks with a toy gun. And y'all, I'm good with kids. And I looked at him and I said, hey, little man, please don't point that at me. And he did this. And I kept walking, and I turned around, and he was just like this for 3 blocks. And I went back to his house after I had to walk it off. Y'all had to walk it off. So I walked about an hour, and I had a friend of mine on the phone, and she said, Erin, I need you to go to his house and talk to him. I said, I know, I'm a teacher. I need to go talk to his mama. She said, keep me in your ear. So I kept him in my ear. I kept her in my earbud, and I went to talk to this mom. And I've lived in this community for 15 years, so this is not a neighborhood that I'm unfamiliar with. I was walking in my own neighborhood. And the first thing she said is, did he really? I said, ma'am, I'm a teacher. I did not come here because I want him to be in trouble. That's not why I came, so I just want to clarify. I came because if my black child were to do that in this neighborhood, my very large black child, there is no way the police wouldn't have been called. I came because I'm worried about him. Had it been a different person, this could have turned out really differently. I came because I just want him to understand he cannot be following people with a toy. And it was a metal gun. So it was a metal gun that had a little plastic orange piece at the bottom, but it looked real. And I said, this could have gone really differently. And here's how she ended. Do you even live here? Y'all, I am 6 feet tall with a bright red afro. I walk our neighborhood so much that the Lacey PD knows who I am. I am the walking lady in Lacey. I have walked past their house every single day for at least a year. I watched them move in. My husband is the head football coach. We've lived there for 15 years. She lived 6 houses from me and had the nerve to say, do you even live here? Guess what? It doesn't matter if I live here or not. But the fact that I was invisible to her was horrifying. And so my hope is in the children who are having conversations, who are willing to engage in dialogue, who are willing to think critically. My hope is not just generally in children, if that makes sense. But I do have incredible hope, and young people are doing really, really amazing things across the country.
Wow. Colleen.
Well, this is a perfect question for me. I always tell people I'm an aggressive optimist. Like I'm always like, yeah, this is gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be great, and so it served me well over the years. And you know, I have so much hope in young Indigenous leadership. And you may be thinking like, oh, why? Of course, Colleen, like you're Native. You think all the Native stuff is cool, and it is. But if you think about some of the major issues we have going on, not just in this city, in this country, but globally, and the number one thing that comes to my mind is climate change. And when you think about this, the people who've been in charge, the people who've been trying to deal with this issue, and knowing that there is more, and there are young Indigenous people rising up saying, you know what, we have some solutions that you should think about, and they're rooted in our traditions, and they're rooted in our ancestors, and I just get so like pumped up thinking about what they're going to do. I happen to get to work with a lot of young millennials. I am 47, and the majority of my staff is under 30 and Native. So I'm like the anti-status now, which I love, and it's great. And you know, we have this huge warehouse. We're shipping out hundreds of orders every day. And I went back there one day and I said, you know, this is awesome. You guys are doing a great job. I said, but I really want to ask you and challenge you to think about what does it mean for us to have an Indigenous space here, an Indigenous warehouse. And my warehouse manager, Eric, he's a young Dene man. He just was like, loved it. He's like, you're right. And so next time I go in there, there's a whole whiteboard up there about how they're going to indigenize this warehouse space. And they do an incredible job. They have such high accuracy in their work. And I use that just as a brief little example about what that means in this world. And I want to invite all of you to be thinking about making space for those voices that have not been heard, because it is essential. It's not even like maybe it's a good idea. It's like if we want to continue going on in this world, those voices that have been pushed down in my people, my community, have been pushed down. Those voices have not been heard. They are rising up with some freaking brilliant ideas that are the solution and are going to be part of what saves this planet as we move forward. So that's just giving me hope. I love these kids I get to work with. They're so brilliant. And yeah, find them, listen to them. They're there.
Yeah. And we're going to start with you, Colleen, because that kind of leads into this final question, which is what action items can you give the audience today? Can you give us 2 or 3 action items that folks can take with them to make change in their community?
Number one thing is to prioritize your buying to Black, Indigenous people of color-owned businesses. It's making a difference. It's encouraging that wealth building that is essential as we move forward in the Native community. And so there's, if you just Google like Native-owned businesses, you're going to find some really cool stuff, including my company, 8th Generation. But it's not just about 8th Generation. It's about where we're putting our money, where we're spending our dollars, and supporting entrepreneurship. I believe is one of the most important things we can do is in this city, in this country. The other thing I would say is, and I kind of touched on this already when I said trust brown people with your money, but you know, having raised a lot of money, and I can tell you that every dollar comes with like, we got to hold you accountable. I have wanted to turn that around and say, no, I want to hold you accountable, rich white lady in Seattle who has hoarded all of this wealth. I was speaking to this group of Native business people the other day, and I kind of just offhandedly said, you know, what would it be like if we were Jeff Bezos? And the whole room just like laughed, because we would never be Jeff Bezos, because in our communities, we believe in shared prosperity. we would never hoard all of this wealth. It's never my intention to be a wealthy person and have, and my goal is to have shared prosperity and thriving in my communities, and that's why I'm working as hard as I am to ensure that I can give that money. And where I'm from in Alaska, we have the idea of potlatch culture, where you grow and you grow and you grow your wealth, and then you give it all away. Every single penny, every single piece of your household goods. And so when I think about how people in this city, where we have a lot of money, to be giving it to organizations like Solid Ground, who are leaders in the work of true DEI in Seattle. Let's be very clear that Solid Ground has been doing that for many, many years, and so effectively and beautifully. And then giving your dollars to organizations that are led by BIPOC people. That is one way that we can be making such an amazing difference in the city. And the final thing is cultivate joy. Every day I'm asking myself, what are you doing that's fun, Colleen? What are you doing that's fun? Life is hard. Like, do fun things. Enjoy your family. Get outside. I walk in Carkeek Park almost every day because it's the most beautiful park in the whole world. And it gives me so much joy. So
That's awesome.
those are my three.
Yeah.
So connected to the joy piece, I am grateful every day. So I choose gratitude by intention every single day. And it has become a habit. And by the way, you can build a gratitude muscle. There's science to it. And it changes how you see the world. And so I really choose gratitude and practice it every day. And one of my journals is a gratitude journal. And so that's something practically that all of you can do. The other thing that's really important is I really believe that you can only feed other people if you feed yourself first. And so self-care is really important, but I want to invite those of you who are not Black, Brown, Indigenous, LGBTQIA, invest in someone else's self-care. So a really practical thing you can do is find people in your community who are leading and get them a spa, pay for them to get their hair washed. I mean, one of the things that I do every week, I get my hair professionally washed every week. I invest in that, but do that for somebody else. Like, take your money and give it away and invest in someone else's well-being who is doing this work. The other thing that I would say to you is think about who's in your immediate circle. Most people have cultivated circles, and I would say Seattle is no different than any other place in the country. 80% of white people in America do not have a friend who is not white. And friend does not mean that you work together. And I'll just offer as a Jesus girl who has now left my church of 25 years, our church fell apart because of all the race stuff. So our church was one of the most diverse churches in Tacoma, and George Floyd just blew stuff up. Which is good, actually. But what I realized, and I knew this, but I think it became really clear, is you don't know me just because you sit next to me in church either. And so I want you to think about who's in your circle. And if your circle looks all like you, you need to expand your circle.
Yep.
Now, don't walk up to someone in the mall and say, I need a black friend. I need a black friend. That is really creepy. Please don't do that. But I want you to think about, where could you go to begin to meet people that are not like you? I mean, go to the NAACP meeting. Find Indigenous spaces to be in. Go and visit, and don't just go once and expect people to just like you. Go over and over. Like, you have to invest in this, right? Like, I wouldn't be married for 30 years if I didn't invest in my husband, if I didn't show up at his things, right? So show up at things, and people will wonder, who are you? And that's how you build a relationship. But I want to challenge you that it's really easy to show up at events like this and hang out and do your thing and donate some money. What happens beyond today? Like, whose stories are you listening to? And when you are in a relationship, there's a different way that you can care for people.
Yeah.
If you don't have skin in the game, it's easy to just give money and not realize other ways that you could maybe support that person and show up for them. So a practical step is just thinking about who are you following on social media? If everybody looks like you, sounds like you, votes like you, you need a bigger circle.
Yes.
Yes. I love that.
All right. We have our marching orders. Don't demand any black friends, please. I'm going to have like 20 more friends when I walk out.
I know. I'm dying to be your friend. So
We are
I
friends.
I know. It's done. It's done.
We are
Not
friends.
just a fangirl anymore. Now you're a friend.
Thank you so much, Colleen Echohawk and Erin Jones. Please give it up for these two.
So fun.
And we want to thank our partners who are making this event possible. Of course, Town Hall Seattle and Michael B. Main for video support, and Maya Marie and Stephanie Ann Johnson, who's going to entertain us shortly. And of course, our community champion, QFC, and all of our sponsors. Stick around because we've got some music to come. I'm just like flying through this. If you haven't given yet and you would like to, please do. If you've laughed and you've cried, you like our hair. Most importantly, you want to help fight poverty, of course. Please consider giving right now to Solid Ground, and we will be back very soon with some music from Maya Marie and Stephanie Ann Johnson.
Yay.
Come here, friend.
Oh, my friend. I promise not to stalk you.
Oh my God, stop me.
All right, all right.
Please, you too. Aw, you're incredible. All right, everybody, can you hear me? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, yell or something. They can hear me. All right, we're going to have some music, so come back to your seat. Lower your conversations. Shh. 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 Ooh, it's working. Shh. 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 Golden State. Mm-hmm. Only if you're going for Golden State, I'm yelling at you. Yeah. Sorry, LeBron fan in here. All right, we're going to get to some music. And I want to first shout out our wonderful change makers, the Biela Foundation, DCG1, Microsoft, the Sprague Israel Giles, and U.S. Bank. Thank you very much for being change makers. Also, I put a the in front of the Sprague. Sorry, I know you're not a the. All right. We're going to welcome our first performers. Everybody ready? Do I have to do my little walk around again? Shh. 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 Yeah, wow, that really works. Okay. Maya Marie is a beautiful combination of guitarist, rock singer, and folk songwriter, bringing an unforgettable ambience to any stage. Maya Marie keeps the listener captivated as her soulful voice kicks a beat into your heart. Backed by the grit of rock, she inspires us to let go and liberate as she sings her truth from the bottom of her gut with undeniable power. Please welcome to the stage, Maya Marie. Oh, hi. Thank you for reading stuff about me. Hello.
How you guys doing? Yes, we have a lot of work to do for our community. Are we all ready to do it? Yeah. So I wrote these songs, you know, I've been through my own struggle. Everybody has their own story. I was homeless and got my college degree while being homeless with my dog. And yeah, it's been I have had help actually from Solid Ground before as well. So thank you everybody who works hard to make that happen and available for people like me and like anybody. So just make sure you donate and make sure you contribute to community any way that you can with, you know, action, with helping anybody, with meeting somebody new, just do it. All right? Can we do that? Yes. All right. This is a song I wrote when I was younger. I'm gonna play songs from when I was younger to now. So you guys can kind of get an idea of what I talk about and what the positivity is for things like that. A lot of songs that I'm gonna sing tonight are very positive, so I hope that helps you. This one's called "Take Me Away." Run away, run away, run away. I don't know where to go. Run away, run away, run away with my soul. I don't know, I don't know, I don't know where is my home. Take me away for a while and maybe I'll see. Take me away for a while where I can be me. Take me away for a while where I can fly free. Take me away for a while where I can be me. Away, 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 away from here I roam. With no fear, no fear, no fear, I find my own. Take me away for a while and maybe I'll see. Take me away for a while where I can fly free. Take me away for a while where I can just breathe. Take me away for a while where I can be me. Thank you. Does this sound okay out there? I think so. Anyway. Thank you very much. This song is called Faith, and this is a special song, and it is a political song. I did play it during CHOP when we had the occupied zone. I wrote this song for that, so with my friend Emma. Shout out Emma, she's not here. Holding my faith to the politician. Make us pay tax, it's a tricky tradition. Why are we funding our own oppressions? We didn't vote to be possessions. Individuals with one voice, fight your rituals. It's your choice. Proactive listeners, my brothers and sisters, about your rituals. It's your choice. Thank you, guys, very much. This is a song I also wrote, just all these political songs. I hope you guys, are you guys having fun? You having a good night? Are we supporting Solid Ground? Yes? Oh, good. That's great news. I'm happy you're all awake. Thank you. This song's called Caged. Say I don't have any rights. Said I have to go. Well, I lost my soul and sold it for nothing. Oh, well, I gotta stay strong. Well, I gotta go. Yeah. Well, I gotta stay strong, strong, strong. You're taking all my earnings. Bet you would have cried the way I did. So keep counting your blessings, for your time is a burning. Oh, well, I gotta stay strong. Well, I gotta go. Yeah. Well, I gotta stay strong. Yeah. Well, I gotta go. Yeah. Well, I gotta stay strong. Yeah. Well, I gotta go. Yeah. Well, I gotta stay strong, strong, strong. Thank you, guys. So you hide behind your smile, sour taste, a bitter time. Soak yourself in your fragility. Make yourself useful. It's a joke. They wanna play you, bring you down to nothing. Choke on your breath. You'll have time for one last cigarette. Down yonder, the birds will bring. You'll be lost with all the rest of the things. Take yourself and bring it back. You only stand for one thing. It's a joke. They wanna play you, bring you down to nothing. Thank you. songs I wrote. I don't know what's next. Oh, this song's called Clone. I see the changes covered in stone. I see the changes covered in stone. I feel the racist propaganda clone. I feel the racist propaganda clone. Attack it all. Take it off from me. Why don't you take it off? What you know about rock and roll? Oh, you say it soothes your soul. Do you know it's black as gold? Do you know it's what you stole? Do you know it's what you take? Oh, from the human race. Do you know it's what you take? Oh, from the human race. Take it all. Take it all from me. Why don't you take it all? Turn the pages made of stone. The heart is black, the heart is cold. Find the key is old. Turn the key, your feet get cold. Coming through, the story's old. Coming through, your feet get cold. Coming through, the story's old. Coming through, you're free, your soul, you're free. Oh, take it all. Take it off from me. Thank you, guys. All right, I got a couple more for you, and I keep losing picks. And Stephanie Ann Johnson's gonna come sing y'all some songs. Yes? How we doing now? How y'all doing over there? Does it sound okay out there? I don't know. Who cares? All right, I'm going to need everybody's attention for a second, though, because this is a very important song. I don't know what that means, but everybody just hold on. Hold on. Hey, hold on. For a second. Hold on. Thank you guys. That song is clearly about America. Anyway. The song is called The End.
You said I would take it back again. It wasn't the way I would break your trust. You're gonna send me to the end. I'm falling down and I'm walking away. I'm sailing the ocean. I'm walking away. I'm sailing the sun. You could have, if you wanted to, not break it, but you threw it out the window, and I couldn't get it back no more. The garbage came and left, and you threw me on the shelf. Well, I could have, and I should have tried, and I would have broken down, and I could have crossed the line. You're gonna send me to the end. I'm falling down and I'm walking away. I'm sailing the ocean. I'm walking away. I'm sailing the sun.
Thank you guys. I'm Maya Marie. Support Solid Ground. Stephanie Ann Johnson's coming up. Shout out to Eva. Eva's the best. You guys are great for being here. Don't forget to start doing stuff better. Thanks. Bye.
A singer's talent is complete when they can bring a crowded dive bar to a collective hush, and also get one of the biggest audiences on the planet to a collective standing ovation. Stephanie Ann Johnson is that special singer. They have wowed judges on the popular NBC TV series The Voice, showcasing their gifts, and have opened for acts that include political figure Bernie Sanders and artists such as Mavis Staples, Shaka Khan, Annie DeFranco, Cedric Burnside, and Black Joe Lewis. Their latest album, Jewels, was released on April 7th with an album release show held at the prestigious Triple Door. They most recently performed an in-studio performance on KEXP for my show, on the Oasis, which is available now to view on KEXP's YouTube channel that has garnered almost 3 million viewers, 3 million followers, billions of views, actually. Stephanie, I believe, has already, I wrote this part. Stephanie, I believe, has already been an incredible contribution to the genre of country music. And I know now that it's partly due to the fact that they found their joy and went there. You like that? Please welcome Stephanie Ann Johnson.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for caring about the community. That's great. You don't have to, and yet you do. So this tune is from my most recent release, and it's called Leave the Light On. It's about that considerate, grown-up love, because when you're younger, maybe you're looking for something else, but as you get older, you're hoping that someone will leave the light on in the bathroom so you don't stub your toe in the middle of the night. to do hard work for me. You ain't got to show off all your muscles, boy. Oh, just leave the light on for me. You ain't got to ride upon your white horse. You ain't got to dress up all fancy. You ain't got to bring me all the moon and stars. Or just leave the light on for me. Leave the light on so I can see which way I'm going in the dark. Leave the light on and let this blazing fire start from one small spark. You ain't got to buy me some new future. Oh, you ain't got to do all that for me. You ain't got to feed me some good alibi. Or just leave the light on for me. You ain't got to feed me some good alibi. Or just leave the light on for me. Oh, just leave the light on. Thank you so much. And this song I wrote with those folks over there at the Style program. They're hooked up with those folks that do the Bushwick Book Club, right? So they meet somebody like me and they give me a children's book and then I read it. And then I write a song like this one. That's right. And then I go to your kid's classroom and I read them the children's book for library time. And I play them the song I wrote about it. And then we write a song together. And it gets recorded and put on the internet. So I didn't get into a recording studio until I was 16. So it feels really good to give, an 8-year-old a microphone and say, go, young person. Refuse the urge to be quiet. That's right. This song is called The Day That You Begin. Yeah. Don't be afraid. No. That's right. Don't worry none. You are a star. Yeah. You are the one. Now where you relax. Yeah. Oh, and listen in. That'll be the day, hey child, the day that you begin. That's right. Da da da. La la la. That's right. Could be the way you act, that you think look for a smile. The way you talk your talk, your fashion, it's your style. Yeah, oh, it could be the food you eat or the state you're living in. Yeah, you got to listen and learn to love yourself on the day that you begin. That's right. La la la. Na na na. That's right. I used to be afraid. I used to shake with fear. Now I know I'm not alone because now you are here. Yeah, I finally found a place to be. Yeah, I finally found my friends. Oh, this is the day, child, the day that I begin. That's right, that's right. This is the day, child, oh, the day that I begin. One more time like that. This is the day, child, oh, the day that I begin. Thank y'all for staying around. Thank y'all for spending some of your weekday concerned about what your community looks like. Big shout out to Maya Marie for being fabulous. To all the speakers, thank you so much for coming out. Now, this tune is a couple years old and it's called American Blues. And part of the reason I play it is because I know that it's possible to love something really a lot, while also still understanding that it needs change, refurbishment, and care. Now I've been sad, I've been blue, I've been dying all over you, and you've been washed in my blood. Oh, these years. And I've been lonely. I need a man. It would be nice to have a friend. Oh, what must I do? Oh, these years. And you tell me to be strong and hold the line, soldier on. And I've been weary, but renewed to compose these American Thank you so much. And this last tune I'll do, because I think I have a lot of time. Okay. Let's stay with that then. I'll do this tune. I really like it. It's called He Knows. Because some of us, we have that friend that we go to see whenever we're down and they have something for us. Some of us, we have our dog, our pet, our familiar. We've had a bad day. We go and hug them and cry to them, and somehow they know. And for some folks, they go to a deity of their choosing for that. But there is something wonderful about all those people and places and things in our life that just happen to know us for whatever reason.
Makes me laugh when I want to cry, and when he hold me good like a lullaby. He get me thinking and I don't know why, and ain't that the way it is when love comes to town it like a summer breeze. Curls your hair and makes you weak in the knees. This kind of lover is a special breed, and he knows. Great God Almighty, he knows. You know he knows. Ja 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 ja. Ja 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 ja. The end approaches, but I'm not afraid. I got wool socks and I'm fearfully made. Giving the fireflies a humble cave, saying ain't that the way it is when love comes to town it like a summer breeze. Curls your hair and makes you weak in the knees. This kind of lover is a special breed, and he knows. Great God Almighty, he knows. You know he knows. Ja 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 ja. Ja, 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 ja. Saying ain't that the way it is when love comes to town it like a summer breeze. Curls your hair and makes you weak in the knees. This kind of lover is a special breed, and he knows. Great God Almighty, he knows. Great God Almighty, he knows. Great God Almighty, he knows. You know he knows.
My goodness. All right. Now that I know I have time, what else am I going to play? Oh, okay. This is good. So this next tune is called Can't Go Home. And on its outside, it's a little bit about selling my grandmother's house, because that was kind of a milestone. But one of the things I didn't realize is that even after the song was written, mixed, mastered, and on the record, that in this song I'm having a conversation with my brother who died almost 20 years ago at this point. So there's something really wonderful about the ability to take your pain and take your wounds and turn them into something beautiful. So I hope that you enjoy this tune. It's called Can't Go Home. Because sometimes home is a place and sometimes home is certain people. But I really hope that you are home with yourself.
Cleaning out the old homestead. Nana can't afford the mortgage alone. But you can't go home. She might buy she might cry. But when you see the gold dust fly, you know that you can't go home. And I got a call from Portland, and it made me think of you. Yeah, I got a call from Portland, and it made me think of you. It's been so long since you moved away. Sometimes I still think I see your face, you know, but you can't go home. Do the dishes and take out the trash. Oh, but when I miss you, it comes on fast, but you can't go home. And I got a call from Portland, and it made me think of you. Yeah, I got a call from Portland, and it made me think of you. Someday when I'm old and gray, your face, it might fade away. You only live inside my memory. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll be good, I won't cuss. I'm still mad at you for leaving us, you know, but you can't go home. No, you can't go home. No, you can't go Thank you all for having me. Thank you for listening, for being attentive. If any of this is interesting, you can come catch me tomorrow night. I will be up there at the Ballard Homestead. Alice Howe is going to be out there. We're going to be celebrating her CD release. One of her band members is a guy named Freebo. Used to do a lot of playing with that Bonnie Raitt. He's going to be in the house. I'm so excited. So excited. The fancy musicians know I'm alive. I feel like that when I remember that Eva Walker has my phone number. Once again, thank you so much. This tune is called Jewels, and it's about you and me, right? It's about humanity. It's about all the people that are here. And one of the things I love about that is we're all here, just waiting on whatever happens next. Now, some of our earthly siblings here maybe have their religions and their ideas about what happens next, but nobody really knows. We all just have what we imagine. So for my imagination, for my brain power, I choose to believe that we are all special and singular and sparkly and beloved, just as we are first thing in the morning before we've gone to the bathroom. And when I think about that, I like to play this song.
which is called Jewels. When he cometh to take up his jewels, we are jewels, precious jewels. He is loved and he is on. And like the stars of the morning, his bright crown adorning, they shall shine in their beauty, bright gems for his crown. So many of the hymns that we listen to, it tells us that we're bad people, right? And that the only thing that's gonna make us better is Jesus, right? Well, the reason I love this hymn is because it tells us we're good just like we are. Yeah? He will gather all the jewels for his kingdom, all those pure ones, all those bright ones. He is loved and he is on. And like the stars of the morning, his bright crown adorning, they shall shine in their beauty, bright gems for his crown. Again, my name is Stephanie Ann Johnson. I'll be out there at the Ballard Homestead tomorrow. Maybe I'll see you there too. If not, you can find me on the internet. I'm around. And I hope you have a really wonderful night, each and every one of you. So let's be children, little children who love their Redeemer. We're those pure ones, we're those bright ones. He's loved and he is own. And like the stars of the morning, his bright crown adorning, they shall shine in their beauty, bright gems for his crown. And like the stars of the morning, his bright crown adorning, and they shall shine in their beauty, bright gems for his crown. Just you and me, being bright gems for his crown. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Get home safe. Please give to Solid Ground. And thank you again to the community champion QFC, Changemakers, the Biela Foundation, DCG1, Microsoft, and Sprague Israel Giles. Thank you, everyone. Please support Solid Ground right now. I'm Eva Walker. Thank you.